And as it is 2:17, Claudia, hello. We're going to go ahead and get started. So I want to thank and welcome everyone to the April 27th Mesa College Community Forum. And today we're going to be talking about and having a panel for Black student success despite COVID-19. So I want to thank in advance all of our presenters and all that have joined us today. We're going to start, as we start most of our community forums, with some updates. As you can tell, I am not President Luster. So again, good afternoon. My name is Lorenz Legaspi. I'm the proud Vice President of Administrative Services for the college. And we'll start with some of the updates from the Vice Presidents. I'll give some updates and then we'll go to Vice President of Instruction, Dr. O'Connor, and then we'll go to Dr. Shante Hands before we kick off our panel for today. And so again, welcome. And I want to just give some quick updates from Administrative Services. And so what I want to talk about today is the HERF allocation, Higher Education Emergency Relief Funds. And thank you to all the faculty and staff and administrators who've been doing the planning in their respective areas for how to best use the funds that we received from the federal government to best support our students. And so you'll see some more as we go of some of the areas that we have come up with to make sure that we're using the funds that the state and the federal government has given us to make sure we're supporting our students in this remote environment, specifically around COVID-19. And also too, with these new allocations, there's a HERF 2 and a HERF 3 that have came out the HERF 2 and will be coming out HERF 3. And with that is very important, is a lot of those funds can be and will be used for direct student aid. And so we know that our students have been some of the most impacted by the pandemic in terms of jobs, in terms of making sure that we're having the funds to live. And so we want to be able to support those students with some grant funds specifically from the HERF allocations. And moving forward with administrative services, we're talking about COVID-19 reopening. We have our reopening group that has been meeting the last couple of weeks, every other week, and then we'll be meeting on Monday, actually, next week, and then one more time on May 14th before the semester ends. And so this is to give updates and to receive feedback of where we are with the CDC and the county regulations and mandates. As many of you know, in the past month, we've gone from the purple tier, which is the most restricted, meaning there has been significant amount of cases in the county, to the orange tier, which is trending in the right direction. So we are cautiously and hopefully optimistic about what we can do, or how the COVID-19 pandemic is going to look like as we take a look at fall and for those plannings. And so those constituents and those representatives on the reopening group, I want to thank you, and we'll have those conversations in depth on Monday. Also too, from Administrative Services, the quad is right behind me. And so that is a picture. We are thankful for our construction folks, as they are considered essential and have been on campus helping create this beautiful quad that we've all dreamed, envisioned, and the quad has been scheduled to be completed by the end of this calendar year. So as we return, some people potentially in fall, probably more in spring if things are trending the same sort of way, we will get to come back to a campus with a K100 renovation complete that we have yet to see in full action, and then also too with a new beautiful quad to help us navigate our campus. And then also too, I'm very deeply proud to report that Mesa 2030, our college's 10-year educational facilities master plan, is on the home stretch for approval, and we're working our way through the Senates, all three, the Academic Senate, the Classified Professional Senate, and the Student Senate for their first reads. I think we've done that. And I want to thank the co-chair of Mesa 2030, Dr. Bridget Herron, for moving the Mesa 2030 plan through those groups. And we'll see it at President's Cabinet, I believe next week, with the May 13th to the Board of Trustees for our district for approval. And so I want to thank the task force that's been working on this for about two plus years. Some of those that started in the beginning. And so I want to thank everyone and for the input that the college has shown. And we're planning 10 more years and envisioning 10 more years of equity and excellence. And then also too, I'm excited to report from Administrative Services what we've been doing. We've been working with a group called Shift to help us as administrative services, as well as those that report to the president's office and the president as well, be involved in some anti-racist training so we can understand how we can do better in those spaces as we combat systemic racism. And with that, those are the updates from administrative services. And so next I'd like to call on our Vice President of Instruction, Isabel O'Connor.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great day. I got a couple of quick announcements, and some of it is very similar to what VP Legaspi just mentioned. First of all, as you all know, we've been working really hard on fall planning with an amazing team of chairs and deans. We have been really narrowing down the number of courses that we want to schedule on campus. What exactly does it mean, hybrid? What are their needs? And trying to match that with facilities. So I'm enormously grateful for the big amount of work that we have been doing, but I think we're on the right track. The second thing also has to do with the HERF2 funding. We have developed a very efficient form a year ago for the CARES Act. We continue to use that form to fulfill needs for the instruction side, where it's faculty to continue to teach and deliver high quality instruction online, or our student needs and our classified professional needs as well. So continue to use that form. Your deans will send you a refresher of what the form is like, and please send along requests. Okay, another request is we are, as you know, doing the voting from Mesa Pathways on the meta majors. We know they're not going to be called that, but we're voting precisely on what the name is going to be and what structure we're going to organize. The voting ends at 5 p.m. today. We've been sending you basically daily emails with a reminder. So thank you to the 233 votes we already got. There's still a few hours, and we really value and need your input. Before I close, I am looking at forward to a great webinar today, and want to share sort of advance notice of something that we have been actively and proudly developing. So I'm going to share screen. Thank you for giving me that capacity. And it is not a beautiful flyer. That's not my forte, but I want to announce to you a great institute that we are planning for the summer. It's going to be called the Curriculum Equity and Excellence Review Institute. We picked the date, July 26th to the 30th, to give us a little bit of break in June. We are going to invite 20 faculty members to take place in the Institute. The activities are designed as a mixture of synchronous and asynchronous work for those 5 days. The goal is to craft a definition of what excellence means through an equity lens and using data, disaggregated data. Some of the topics that will be led by our own campus talent will be community, reflection, equity, privilege, cultural lens, and anti-racist pedagogy. And faculty will be looking at their own data, their own syllabi, etc. Just wanted to recognize the great collaboration and all the people who contributed. We've been at it for several months. Some of us went to the Curriculum Institute about 9 months ago and were inspired by the cultural curriculum audit that Long Beach City College did. So we brought back the idea, and then, as you can see, a wide range of faculty and classified and administrators got together for several months to really distill what we wanted to do. I am looking forward to a great start with this project, and also committed to continuing the work with a faculty inquiry group in the fall. I know the Loft is going to send a much more beautiful flyer than anything I can put together, but I am very excited about this and just wanted to share it with you. And that's the end of my report and my sharing. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. O'Connor. And next, I would like to call on Dr. Ashante Hands, our Vice President of Student Services. And then at the end of your section, Dr. Hands, if you wouldn't mind introducing our panel for today.
Absolutely. Thank you, VP Legaspi. And Isabel, just want to let you know your flyer was amazing and that the Curriculum Equity and Excellence Review Group looks wonderful. So I'm looking forward to see what comes from that. Great work. So Student Services has been doing some dreaming and planning of our own on how to allocate funds that create the conditions that matter for our students to succeed. And we've also been planning for what a student services reopening would look like for us. So I just want to thank all of our departments, supervisors, and managers for engaging in these important processes. Last Friday, April 23rd, the Dreamers Support Program teams from all 4 district schools came together for the yearly Dreamers Conference. So Mesa College had the opportunity to host the event. The conference theme was Connecting Through Hope and Empowerment Among the Undocumented Community and Allies. And attendees made connections, empowered each other, and spread hope among colleagues, community members, and most importantly, our students. So the event hosted over 90 attendees and had workshop presentations from Immigrants Rising, Jewish Family Services, Higher Education Legal Services, and art therapist, Dr. Bernice Badillo. So please continue to refer students and community members to the different Dreamer support programs at each college. There are opportunities for everyone, regardless of immigration status. And I do want to thank our EOPS and Leticia and her entire team for hosting that incredible event last Friday. This weekend, Linda Vista hosted their 36th annual multicultural fair called All the Places You'll Go. It was a drive-through scavenger hunt that highlighted many of the amazing places that make Linda Vista so wonderful. So I'm happy to share that Mesa College was one of the highlights, which means that we had many people drive through our campus and we gave them Mesa goodie bags when they arrived. So I just want to do a special thanks to Carla Trutna for helping to name this year's event and to Outreach for making themselves available to show off our campus. Today, you should have each received an email from Ann Hedican. It's her Transfer Tuesday email, and it's full of great information on opportunities for our students to transfer to places like SDSU through our microsite program, which offers bachelor's degrees in communication and business, or the University of Redlands, which I believe is also a business bachelor's. There's an announcement that UCs are starting to announce their admissions. So if you know that students are applying, just be really sensitive and present and aware of how they're doing so that we can celebrate them or support them should they need assistance if they received a denial. We are requesting information from you all to help us track our students who were admitted to universities for fall of 2021. And so I'm sure the Transfer Center can provide a link. We call it our Transfer Center Admissions Tracker. And this is a way that we're going to be able to celebrate all the places that our transfer students are going. As mentioned, many of our students will be receiving congratulatory emails, and there will be some who get denials. And so we want you to know that there's a lot of information in that email about how to appeal, and our Transfer Center can also support students with that process. So please refer students as they receive information. We have an upcoming mobile market and volunteer opportunity that's going to be May 3rd from 12 to 3. The event's going to be located in the parking structure on level 3. So check your email for information about volunteering and making sure that you are referring students for this very important program. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So today, Student Health Services hosted an informative workshop on sexual assault and intimate partner violence. It was provided by a licensed MFT with special emphasis on including perspective taking for Black, Indigenous, and people of color. So please be reminded that Student Health Services provides excellent support, care, and referrals for our students. So please be sure to refer students. Student Affairs is hosting our first ever Rights and Responsibilities Awareness Week. And this week will include workshops for students to ask questions and learn about their rights and responsibilities. And we're also going to be hosting special sessions for faculty. If Pam was here, she would by now have mentioned that Smile season is upon us. So I do just want to give you some brief updates about our commencement ceremony. So again, our actual commencement ceremony is going to be virtual again this year. It's going to be on Friday, May 28th at 3 p.m. So all graduates that participate in the virtual ceremony will have the opportunity to get a free graduation cap and class of 2021 tassel as a special gift from Mesa College. They must create and submit a ceremony slide to be eligible to receive the free gift, and dates are going to be provided throughout April for graduates to pick up the special gift. June 4th, again, is our commencement ceremony. How cute is that, right? Commencement. So it's going to be our drive-through ceremony from 11 to 1. And the event will also include a commencement, and that is for students who may not have access to a car. We do want to make sure that they also have the opportunity to have that experience to ride through the ceremony. That's equity in action, people. So EOPS is hosting special drive-through distribution for students. This event is to acknowledge the hard work and dedication of our students who have achieved their goal of completing an associate's degree, certificate of transfer. So you may be seeing students on campus, or you may see them start posting pictures with their caps, their gowns, their sash, along with their certificates. We have a drive-through, so that celebration is gonna be this week. We have a drive-through Rasa grad celebration that's gonna be on Monday, May 17th. There's also gonna be a virtual presentation. We also have a ceremony rite of passage ceremony to recognize and honor our Black graduates and transfer students. That is a rite of passage, a virtual celebration, and that's gonna be on May 6th at 5 o'clock. We will be celebrating our veteran graduates on Friday, May 21st. We have a lot of celebrations going on, and all of this information can be found on our commencement webpage. So if you know students who are graduating, we want to celebrate them, we want to honor them, please refer them to the page and show up for these celebrations so that you can celebrate them too. Finally, I'd like to share that this week is Black Student Success Week. So this week is organized in collaboration with many organizations throughout the state of California. This year's week includes a daily webinar series called the Black Hour. So throughout the week, webinars share insights and approaches for improving student success among Black and African American students at community colleges. Those webinars are held from 12 to 1 and are open to all California Community College administrators, staff, faculty, practitioners, and students. And I'll drop the link to register for events on the website. I'm excited to share, though, that Mesa College has hopped on this and is hosting our inaugural Black Student Success Week, including daily activities such as today's presentation by our Black Faculty Counseling Collaborative on Black student success despite COVID-19. So what I'm going to do now is turn this over to Dean Eileen Crakes so that she can introduce our focus and our highlight for today's forum. So Dr. Crakes, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Hans. As Dr. Hans mentioned, we are truly excited to be able to celebrate Black Student Success Week with you. This is truly an opportunity to share approaches for improving student success among our Black and African American students. So with us today, I'd like to start out by acknowledging Professor Leroy Johnson for being here today. He's the chair for the counseling department, who's always been there to provide support in these efforts for the Black Faculty Counselors Collaborative. Next, I'd like to introduce you to the individuals who will be leading today's student panel. First, we have our colleague from Disability Support Programs and Services, Chanel Changotra, and also Michael Temple, who is our counseling faculty, also one of the founders of the Black Faculty Counselors Collaborative, and also the Umoja coordinator for San Diego Mesa College. So take it away, Chanel and Michael.
All right, thank you, Dean Crakes. Appreciate that introduction. And I'm going to start with an announcement from Dr. Idiyama. She would like for me to mention if students are in need of any research help, if they have any questions about library resources and services, she is available Monday and Thursday from 11 to 12. And I have sent out today a flyer that she put together. So please check your email. She is, yeah, it looks like, so she is definitely available for an hour, Monday and Thursday. And I wanted to make that announcement on her behalf before getting started. But Dr. Ashanti Hans had asked us to think about, what was going to be our call to service. She put that out to the entire Student Services Division. And what we came up with was the Black Faculty Counselors Collaborative. And at the moment, we wasn't quite sure what exactly it meant or what we were going to do, but we knew one thing for certain, that we were going to wrap services around our Black services. And whatever those services were to help them to succeed, we were going to do that. As of late, I think we've come up with some achievable action items, such as improving access to resources for our Black students on campus. We want to make sure that our students are truly experiencing an equitable outcome. We want to cultivate a community that maximizes success and expresses a sense of belonging for our students. We want to have culturally centered things around campus, that our students can identify that is reflective of our student population. And we want to encourage our colleagues to be more equitable minded in the treatment of our students. So although Dr. Hands asked for the student services for call to action, and there's a bunch of remarkable things going on throughout the student services division. I think the call to action should also take place as an entire campus community thing. And I know that there's a lot of different things going on around our campus, and a lot of wonderful things. But we have to continue to push forward and make sure that the call of action isn't just a student services thing, that it is a campus-wide activity and function, and that's very important. Our students who are here today, I think, have benefited from some of these things prior to where we ended up last summer, and they will explain that. But I'm going to go ahead and allow Chanel to reintroduce herself and to say a few words.
Hi, thank you so much, Michael. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for attending and supporting our Black students here at San Diego Mesa College. We are very excited to be kicking this off and just sharing, some of what our students are going through, what's on their mind, and having this really rich conversation and dialogue. So today we have 4 students who are on the panel. Some of them are current students, some of them are recently transferred students. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to them so that they can introduce themselves. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Aaron. I'm a transfer student. I'm a junior, and I transferred last year from Sonoma State to Mesa College.
Hello, everyone. My name is Robin Bolden, and I transferred to UCSD last year.
Hello, my name is Ahmed Mohammed. I transferred to UC Berkeley last year.
Hi, my name is Kylea Jones, and I transferred to California, Sacramento State University.
So we will be asking you a series of questions. There are 9 questions total. Michael and I will switch off on asking the questions, and so I'll ask the first one. We can answer them in the same order as you all introduced yourselves. So Aaron, you'll be starting first, if that's okay. The first question is, were you at Mesa or already transferred when the lockdown occurred due to COVID? And please share and explain your initial reaction.
I transferred while the lockdown was happening. I transferred while the lockdown was happening. It was pretty interesting for me because I never took online classes until until this year, and it's been pretty tough, but I've always tried to look at the bright side of things and just do my best in everything that I can. I feel I've I've exceeded what I wanted to see for myself, so I really like that for myself.
Hello again. So for myself, I would say that I was at Mesa. I was transferring. So I was in the process of transferring when this occurred. And my initial thoughts was, wow, I got to do everything online and school and work from home with the kids. So that was my initial thought. But as I was already doing online classes before, so it wasn't nothing new to me, but I just had to get focused. So that was my main point of transferring and to immediately get focused, because unlike me being at Mesa, I was unable to seek out different resources or to even get help. It was all via online. And we all know sometimes, the response to an online response can take a little bit longer than you expect. So for me, I would just say that was just my initial thought was shock, but trying to stay focused.
Yeah, I was transferring as well. I was still at San Diego Mesa, and it's funny because it's kind of like a good thing and a bad thing that happened with the whole lockdown happening, because I kind of got used to doing online, being at home and pretty much like doing my classes, doing my work at home. It was strange, no doubt, but it definitely got me kind of used to the online Zoom thing that began. I kind of look at it from like it's a good thing, and at the same time it was a bad thing because it was kind of rough, and it's still kind of rough doing online. But I'm used to it, so I'm starting to get the hang of it.
For me, it was kind of like, oh, we're gonna come back like next week. This is gonna be over with. But as we can see, it did not end up being like that. Personally, let me answer the first question. I was transferring in the process of transferring to a university in the fall. So for me, when all this happened, I was like, okay, the toughest class I had in the spring was statistics, and trying to take statistics in person was already hard. So having to take it in the spring was going to be online was going to be even harder. I was kind of like, okay, well, I'm just going to work it out.
Thank you. So the second question is, as a newly transferred student, what are some of the obstacles or L's that you felt you've taken due to the pandemic, or any W's that you took, wins?
For me, I'll start with like L's about for school wise. Um, for me specifically, the main thing that was tough for me was doing math classes. I had a statistics class, um, and I have a calculus class now. I think that the toughest thing for me is not being able to go to a teacher's classroom and do it one-on-one with them, because I feel like if I'm there at the classroom, it's easier for me to like point out things that I don't understand instead of being on, a Zoom call doing it. So I think that that's one of the hardest things for me, just getting the extra help that I need for classes. Um, a win for me, I think that I've been able to get more in touch with people more quickly because everything's on Zoom, and I don't have to drive anywhere. I could just be at my house and talk to people and communicate through Zoom, or I can just make a phone call with them. I feel like there's more openness than rather than like having to go to the school and having to schedule a meeting. So I think that that's something that I got out of having everything online.
So the question was, as a newly transferred student, what has been some obstacles, L's you felt you have taken due to the pandemic, or any wins? So for myself, I would definitely say some of the losses that I have, one of the losses that I have taken has been a loss of community. Instantly. I instantly lost that community as soon as I left Mesa, because it was a pandemic, and I'm more of an in-person type of chick. So not being able to have that resources up front on what's available to me at UCSD was hard, and it still is a battle, but I'm somewhat finding a community now. So I would say that's a part of my win. But also I'm actually in the process, we just implemented Emoja at UCSD, the club aspect of it. So I'm excited about that, and I'm stepping back into my role that I'm used to as a leader and helping other students. So that's what I would say my wins and losses were.
I would say some of my losses, I would say, is getting used to the whole curriculums and like one of the things like with going to UC Berkeley is that, and I'm pretty sure it's for many other schools, is the amount of books that you have to read. And I wasn't used to that. So it was like a new book almost, it's like a new book almost every week or every 2 weeks. So it's like, wow, how am I going to keep up with this? But, I managed to, go ahead and keep up. Another thing is, a W, I would say, is starting to really like focus on managing my time, because that's a very critical part in going to the UCs or going to a CSU or whatever school you go to, is time management. So I've really learned how to manage my time and taking time for studying, taking time for doing my homework and doing assignments, and also time to relax and go to sleep and those types of things, because that's very critical. Your mental health and those types of things is very critical to your learning as well.
I think for me, my L was losing my community, like Robin said, just because I'm so type of person to be in person. I like to go around campus, talk to different people. I think my win with this whole pandemic and transferring was probably leaving San Diego. So now I live in Sacramento. So I was really happy about that. I've always wanted to leave San Diego, and I still have the chance to, even in the pandemic. So that was my big win. But other than that, I think I've been doing fine in a way, even though, we are in pandemic and it is kind of hard not going on campus. I only been to campus 10 times, and that was just to go to the bookstore and to get my vaccine. But I did feel like my win was more important than my loss.
Okay. Number 3, is this in this virtual learning space, where and how have you been able to find community on your campus?
I feel like I've been able to find community through ELPS and a bunch of I'm in ELPS and I'm in FAST, and I feel like I found a community through them. They've also gave me a lot of information on things that I could do, such as careers or transferring to graduate programs. Also got me in touch with a lot of Black students and a lot of Black coordinators at Mesa. So I feel like the programs that I'm in right now, EIPS and FAST, I feel like they gave me a sense of community while everything is online. And I feel like I've grown a connection to some of the people there.
for myself, I would say that I mentioned Emoja, but I would also say the BR, the Black Resource Center, they used to be given a lot of different resources to be able to connect with the community, but also I'm taking a minor, which is African American Studies, and feel like they give a lot of resources as well on different events to attend and different courses to take throughout the quarter. So I find that a great resource. But also, I'm also a FAST Scholar student, such as Aaron. So I would say FAST Scholars, the EOPS program / TRIO program over there is really is a really successful program, I think, for me. And also their transfer hub. They've given me a lot of information from the time I've started at UCSD to be able to get connected with different spaces and communities on campus.
Currently for me, you know, it's kind of difficult to create community because at the same time, like I'm not in the Bay Area right now. So, you know, and I'm more of a like in-person type of person that, you know, I like to meet you in person. But I think one of the things is like through the classes, you do meet people because, you know, you either like, you know, you're trying to, you know, share notes or, you know, trying to, you know, gain access to different resources to help you out with the class. So, you know, social media have been one of the ways of, you know, keeping some type of connection or some type of community. And also just, you know, like texting people. I've gotten, you know, some of my class mates like numbers, and, you know, we text and all that other type of stuff, and we're creating a relationship even though I haven't met them in person. So it is kind of like difficult, you know, creating that community when you're not actually on the campus or anything like that. Or you're not even like in the area where the school is. You know, I'm still in San Diego. So, but, you know, I would say like social media, texting, those types of things, and, you know, just reaching out to people is like critical to create that community, especially being like, you know, being remote or being somewhere else.
For me and my sense of community and finding community here at Sacramento, so I was lucky enough, my sister actually goes to Sacramento State too. So I was lucky to just meet her friends. Also, I met a lot of the Sacramento State BSU through ABC last year, which is a conference for Black students in California. So I was lucky enough to already meet these students before I made my decision. Also, I feel like I didn't really lose community because I also have family up here in Northern California. So I wasn't like lost. I did have my days where I was just like, okay, I'm ready to go back to San Diego. I don't like this weather up here. They don't have no taco shop up here. Like, I'm ready to go. But I did have people like, Kylea, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. You know, you can go back to San Diego anytime. This is like, I want to say a one life experience, but I do feel like people in my family don't really get a chance to leave San Diego. And I was the only person in my family to actually leave San Diego. So I definitely was like, okay, I got to stay. And the community that I have connected with has been amazing. I did have BSU. We do have BSU meetings here and there, of course, but other than like the transfer center, I haven't really connected with them. They haven't connected with me. So nothing with actually Sac State's campus with like their student services, but their BSU definitely.
Okay, so panel, there is a question from someone. I think I would like to go ahead and ask you that, if that's okay. And the question is, what about Mesa? You tell students to take advantage of more that help you persevere and succeed to transfer or after you transferred.
Can you repeat the question again? I'm sorry.
So what about Mesa? What is it you tell students, especially Black students? What is it you tell Black students to take advantage of at Mesa? And what are some things that helped you to persevere and succeed as far as transferring to UCSD, UC Berkeley, and your other colleges you went to?
I'll chime in. Hey, everybody. So my answer to that question is seeking out any and all resources that are readily available that Mesa has to offer. And then some. I mean, because Mesa doesn't just offer resources that are just for the campus, they offer other resources that can help you succeed as well, whether it's something that's just a regular basic need or not. So I would definitely, me personally, what I did was seek out every resource that Mesa had to offer, whether it was something for me or not. But the only way that I would know was if I asked. So the worst thing a person could do was tell me no. But I was so persistent, no was not good enough. I'm gonna come back again. But just be persistent and just be persistent and definitely when you see like attend workshops. I know that they may be time consuming or might not fit your schedule, but I would definitely check out different workshops, different seminars, different events that Mesa offers because they offer so much. And that's what helped me transfer, being involved in different clubs, being involved, going to different workshops and just letting people know who I am. And then when I was able to, like when I was stuck with something, I was able to reach out to different individuals, whatever it was, because I had a network system now. So just kind of building your support system, I think that's very important. And that's what kind of helped me transfer because at the end of the day, you are going to need letters of recommendation and maybe you might need a mentor or something. You can grow so much from being right here where you're at this community college at Mesa. I mean, me personally, I've grown so much from Mesa. Like I was nothing. I ain't gonna say nothing, but I'm a mom. I'm an older student. You're a non-traditional student, but just having been able to gain so much knowledge and having mentors and leadership that Mesa has to offer, it has been an amazing journey for myself. So I would definitely say take advantage of all the resources that they have to offer, whether they're important to you or not. Because say you come across another student that might need a resource, now you can actually pass that information on to the next student. Or you might not think it's important to you, but definitely seek the resources and the help that's given.
Yeah, along with what Robin was saying, I definitely did that too. I also looked into a lot of programs that I've found interesting because when you're like in a program or if you're in a club, they automatically like will send you different opportunities that you can do. So like for me, EOPS, they send me things about career opportunities, tutoring, even financial stuff like reliefs for people. They have a bunch of different like food markets. Like they'll give you food. They gave me food for Thanksgiving. But yeah, just find programs that you find interesting. Also get in touch with a lot of the coordinators or people who work for Mesa because they have a lot of information too. And you can use their resources that they give you. Also, what I did personally, I started like talking to people like when I started getting more comfortable in places, I started like growing attachments to like people who I felt like most comfortable with, because I felt like I could hit them up like with personal questions or like anything I need, like whether it's tutoring or like whether I need them to help me get in touch with another person, like say one of my teachers. Like I don't like what one of my teachers is doing. I felt like because they were there before me, like they have more seniority than me, and I feel like their voice goes further than what I would say like if it just came from me. So definitely like just find connections with people and find programs that you find interesting, and those will definitely help you get services and whatever you need to feel comfortable at Mesa.
I think what Robin said was just spot on. Take advantage of the resources that Mesa is giving to you. Go to those workshops, all of those things. Join the club. Join a group that you have some type of community in. And another thing I would say, like, stay. stay connected, with the people at Mesa. If you like graduated or you're transferring, stay connected with those at Mesa, and always give them like tips on things to do, what not to do, you know what I'm saying, to help them as a student. It's and just like what Robin said, you can always like, let people know what it is, what are the things, what are the tools, what are the resources that Mesa has that can help you to grow as a student and to help you to level up as a student. So I don't really have much to say, because she took like everything. But yeah, take advantage of those resources and stay connected.
For me, for the Black students, I will say one thing that I took, which I just felt like personally for me, was I connected with almost all like my teachers who were Black. I'm a Black Studies major, so of course I connected with the Black Studies professors at Mesa, who was Professor Kuntunji, Professor Masa, or I think it's Dr. Masa now. I connected with the student services who are Black, Miss Chanel and Miss Ashanti, Mr. Temple. I connected with them. I was able to like talk to them about my experiences that was happening at Mesa, and they helped me a lot, especially my last semester last year with just like everything that was just going on racially, the stuff that I had to deal with on campus I felt that was racist towards me. So I definitely will say, definitely connect with your Black faculty on campus as a Black student. I definitely do feel like that's a big thing, especially if you're a transfer student coming from out of state or just not from San Diego. That was something that was really important to me, because they definitely helped me a lot getting through my semesters at Mesa. Definitely connecting with student services is a great program. I was in I'm going to say it wrong. I was in the I'm going to say it, DSPS. That's where I met Chanel. She helped me a lot with getting through my last semester. I'm not that good at math, and that just being a part of that program at Mesa helped me a lot with just going through everything, especially in transitioning to online classes. So definitely, if you're Black, connect with your Black faculty on campus. It doesn't matter if it's just the lunch lady or the janitor. Connect with your people on campus, because they're there and they are experiencing the same things you're experiencing on campus.
Okay, so those are some wonderful responses. In the chat, there's a lot of links going up for resources on campus. So please look at the chat and refer to that as well. And also, I know there's a question. I see one question in there, and we will get to that. I wanted to acknowledge that your question is seen. So moving on, panelists. So while navigating the lifestyle changes due to the pandemic, maintaining outstanding performance in class, and managing financially, you have also had to deal with social unrest. How have you been able to process and or respond to what is happening to individuals in this country who look like you? In what ways did this impact your educational journey?
I've been doing a lot of research lately, watching a lot of news sites. I've been watching CNN a lot. I've just been keeping up with everything. I start to begin to learn my my rights if I was ever stopped by police. Well, I have been, but like previously, I've been learning up on that. Yeah, I've just been kind of keeping myself. I've just been trying to get more knowledge on everything that's been going on, because we're inside most of the time. So, you know, it's a lot easier now that we're doing school online and stuff like that. So I've just been taking the time to not really get lazy and try and hone in on some more you know, stuff like that, like I said before.
So for myself, like Aaron said, just kind of thinking a lot lately. Now that I have a 11-month-old son, just thinking from a different context. Like as before, I was thinking, you know, with my young daughters, it was more like sexual assault and different things like that. But now the police, as we got a victory, there was also, you know, the young lady that had got shot at the same time. So just kind of rethinking what I tell my kids and how I'm teaching them, and also teaching myself how to live in a Black body in America, basically. That's what I'm having. Those are the conversations that I'm having. Telling my son at 11 months, you're Black. You know what I mean? And just letting him know these things. And it's hard just knowing that we don't know what the future really looks like. And it's a lot of work that still needs to be done. And we all know that. But just kind of actually me personally doing more research, as Aaron said, and kind of investing my time in my community, and just making sure that my kids are safe and that they understand what it looks like.
Wow, that's a I would say that's a good question. You know, as far as like the way that, you know, I've been dealing with it, you know, because there's so much that's been going on in, you know, in my personal life. And then when we look at what's happening in America, you know, it really like took like a little toll on me as far as, you know, what's going on. But some of the things that, that really like, you know, that's helping me to deal with it, is, you know, being educated on what's going on. You know, one of the good things about it is like I'm taking a class, and we talk about subjects about that. And one of the things, you know, one of the things about that is like to have your voice heard is very important. Dealing with police brutality, police killings, just like what Robin was saying. You know, we seen that we had like a victory, right? Some accountability happening, and then, you know, 30 minutes later or so, you know, we hear about a 16-year-old girl being shot 4 times in the chest by the police. So, you know, and then we're hearing about another shooting that happened. I believe it was either in North or South Carolina, with the Black man being killed by the police. So it's like an ongoing thing. So, you know, the thing that's helping me is to having my voice heard and continuing to speak out against the things that's happening in the Black communities around America, and seeing what I can do to help, you know, and just learning more on the subjects, you know, you know, as far as like what I can do, you know, because the experience is there, you know, having the experience of the police pulling you over for nothing. I've had that experience. So that experience is there, but to educate yourself and to see how you can combat that, and combat that from happening to people that look just like you. That's a way for me to deal with this, is to fight it head on, and to learn and to grow, and to get our community out of the conditions that it's in right now, as far as with this, you know, police brutality, police killings, because it's been going on for too long. So, you know, that's a real touchy subject for myself, and I'm sure for the rest of the panel as well. But, you know, my thing is to go at it, you know, heads up with it, and to fight something like that, you know, and to keep on speaking out against it and going to work to try and change that situation.
I think personally for me, I have just been trying to last year I tried to ignore everything that was happening during the summer with Black people, but it's kind of hard to ignore it because it's constantly in your face as a Black person. One thing me and my sister just decided last year, like we weren't going to go to any protests because I said that being Black is already a protest. Having to wake up every morning and get out the bed and go to a predominantly white institution, even though it was community college, or to go to work every day at a predominantly white area, it's already being Black and waking up in the morning and to leave your house every morning is already resistance, is already joy and things like that. So we decided not to go to any protests. We did decide to also to constantly post resources for people who were protesting and things like that. But I do feel like right now I haven't heard anything going on in Sacramento about police killings, but I do feel like every day I'm scared for my life, just because it just feels like I can't just live my life. Even on campus, it feels kind of not scary on campus. You know, there's really nobody on campus, but I do feel like at any moment someone's going to do something crazy that's going to affect my life and I'm going to be a hashtag. But I try to be like, okay, I'm here, I'm alive, I made it to college, I'm Black, I'm a woman, I'm here. I can't constantly let fear of what a police officer or a white male is going to do to me. I can't do that because then I'm letting them win. I made it through all of this. I can't allow that to happen to me. It is kind of sucky that I do believe that police should not be on campus. I personally believe that police need to be not in existence anymore because they're not helping at all to any communities. I was just at a party on Saturday and the police were just staring at us, like 3 cop cars staring at us. And we were just chilling, not drinking, not doing anything illegal, just chilling there, just staring at us. And I felt very uncomfortable. I felt like something was going to happen to any of us. And I feel like I should not feel like that at all, living in my Blackness or just being Black or just being a person. I should not feel that way because of the color of my skin. I will say on campus at Mesa, when you guys do return in the fall, if you're a Black student listening, don't let the police that are on campus, because there's a lot of police on Mesa's campus that I've noticed in the past years that I was going there. Don't let them try to steal your joy. I definitely feel like when I was at the Commons with other Black students and we were laughing and giggling, they told us to calm down. And it was like, we're not doing nothing crazy, but there'll be other students who are non-Black being loud, just as louder than us, and they're not telling them to calm down. So I will say that be safe and be protective while you're on that campus, but don't let them try to tone you down because you're Black. Don't.
Thank you. I am now going to highlight one of the questions from the chat. Give me one moment, I have to find it. It's kind of deep down in here. Jesus, please excuse me. Okay, the question was something along the lines of what are some things that Mesa College could have done to better your experience? I can't find it in the chat, it's too deep down. But if for whoever asked the question, if that's not correct, please send me a message and let me know and I'll be sure to clarify. Thank you.
Chanel is asking, what challenges did you have at Mesa and how can Mesa improve on those issues, on those challenges?
Perfect, thank you. So that's gonna be the question for the floor.
One challenge that I'll specify, I talked about it earlier, was I had a lot of challenges in math at Mesa because I'm more of like a hands-on, like I need to be there in front of the teacher because some of the questions that I would have wouldn't really make sense on Zoom. It would make more sense if I like pointed at it in person. So right now I'm in San Francisco, so I don't know if it would help me per se, and I don't know if it's like if it's legal with all the like the social distancing, but maybe like somehow students who struggle like that can maybe like have more contact, like like maybe if they're having like a problem with it, the student can get tested for COVID or something. I don't really know how it would work, but you know, something that would help more combat with like being able to ask questions more during math tutoring rather than like math tutoring just be like a bunch of students in one Zoom call and then just listening to like what the teacher has to say about the questions that you have.
So for me, one thing that I would have liked to have seen at Mesa was, because I ain't gonna lie, I shoot for the stars. I was involved in honors, but you guys, I feel like they tell you how to get into honors, but they don't really tell you how you could be on dean's list or how you can basically be or the valedictorian. But I feel like if those things were kind of more exposed to students, more students would have, if maybe the success rate of students would change. I don't know. That's just my thought on it, because me personally, I didn't know about it until it was too late. And I would have had loved to have found out about it. But when I went to do research in it, it was kind of fine printed, too hard to find. Like nobody's looking for that. But I didn't even know about it because I'm your non-traditional student. I didn't know about college prior to this. I had no information, but the resources that I had to find. But another thing would be finding resources, but that's something that you guys have connected since I've started Mesa and left. You guys have fixed that transition. So kudos to Mesa. But that was one problem that I initially had. I literally had to physically go to find resource to resource myself. Like the help was hard to find, but it's gotten better. So I wouldn't really speak on that, but I would definitely, once again, just seek out any and all resources, whether it's honors, trying to be in PTK, Phi Theta Kappa, whatever it is, your success, whatever it looks like, then those are the resources and things you should be looking out for. But I feel like Mesa has gotten a lot better with exposing different opportunities for students to grow, and not just at Mesa, but therefore after Mesa.
Hey, Kyla, you want to go? I can't even think of that right now.
Yeah, I go. I think personally for me, a challenge I had, I want to, okay, so when spring semester came to, online, one thing that I feel like there wasn't a lot of grace given to students. And what I mean by that, like all of us were going online, I felt like teachers wanted us to give them grace, but we weren't given the same grace. I had an issue with my math teacher, explained to her that it's going to be even harder for me to try to do this homework because I was babysitting, watching my cousin and trying to do homework while also helping her do her homework during my same class time. And I feel like I wasn't giving that grace of schoolwork, of getting help or having homework or just tests extended later than it was. But I had to wait for her to reply back to my emails 3 or 4 days later. So I had to end up dropping the class and having to take it during the summer. I feel like that wasn't enough grace. I also feel like a lot of things could have been different. I also feel like Mesa only showed up for Black students or Black the BSU during like Black History Month. I feel like that was the only time that Black students were even acknowledged, or even not Black students, but just Black people on the campus was only during Black History Month. Other than that, I feel like I've never seen nothing outside of that being acknowledged, Black students or anything outside of February. I do feel like that should be different. But other than that, nothing really. I just feel like if you guys are going to be a campus, or like I'm an alumni now, I just feel like it should be different. Like not BSU. Mesa is mainly, well, from what I've seen, it was mainly a lot of Black students, but I feel like Black students weren't getting helped a lot, or it was just a lot of things weren't being talked about or wasn't even seen on campus. Like what Robin said about being valedictorian, I had no idea that you could even be valedictorian at Mesa. You could just sign up and send a video in. I had no idea until like 2 days before it was submitted. I think a lot of things weren't being put out there for students. It was just like, okay, it's up here, but nobody was really knowing about it. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I would have to like go on like the same lines as Kyla, because right before she said that, that's something that I was thinking about as far as things happening for Black students. Black students are somewhat recognized like during Black History Month, but that's pretty much it. But I think that certain events should be hosted and promoted, like as far as things surrounding like things that can help Black students, things certain clubs and that's available to for Black students to find some type of community, because there was many times where some students was like, I didn't even know Umoja or the BSU existed on the campus. And also just holding events on important topics, and it being promoted about the Black experience. So I think those things are very important when it comes to Black students and just students in general, so other students can understand the Black experience. So I think those are some of the things that I think was kind of like I didn't really see like at Mesa.
Thank you so much for sharing, y'all. The next question is, had you known your transfer student experience would have been different due to the pandemic, in what ways would you have better prepared?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
So let's say you knew this pandemic was coming, right? Let's say we knew. How would you have prepared? Knowing what you know now, how would you have prepared?
I'm gonna probably have to get back on that.
That's fine.
How I would have prepared. First and foremost, I would have found a space that was quiet besides my car. But definitely I would have planned better as far as time management goes. I'm getting better, but I would definitely say studying, just different habits that I wouldn't have done before. Different habits that I wouldn't have done before COVID, like studying for 3 or 4 hours and different things like that, because it's a lot harder because the information, you're only limited to a certain amount of information over these Zoom recordings, etc. So I would definitely just say taking advantage of, I'm missing the question. Hold on, sorry. I would have definitely approached it like managing my time better. Like I said, having a more quieter space so it could be more professional. And not that it has to be, because I feel like if I'm present, that counts as accountability. At least I'm here. But I don't know. It's kind of a difficult question. I can chime in after again if I need to, but that's one thing I would say for myself.
It's okay. I didn't mean to throw y'all a curveball.
Yes, you did.
Okay, maybe I did.
I would say I would have got a new laptop, because that was an issue when it first started. But I ended up getting a new laptop. But anyways, yeah, I would say I guess I would just get in the mindset of like being online, because you do kind of like have to be mentally prepared to hop on Zoom like throughout the week. You do kind of get like this Zoom burnout, where you don't want to be on the camera. And then sometimes certain professors, like they would require that you turn your camera on, and it's like, man, I am not feeling it today. So, but you just have to be like mentally prepared. And I would say like the same thing that Robin said, finding a space where you can actually go and properly be on Zoom. It'll be kind of like presentable or something like that, because sometimes even at your own home, that's not the best space for some, because it's not quiet, it's not this, it's not that, you never know. So I think those are some of the things I would have done, if I would have known that this was coming.
If I knew the pandemic was coming, I probably would have moved out quicker of my mom's house, just because last year trying to do online schooling and her being home and my sister being home and my little cousin, it was too much. I probably would have moved out quicker if I knew this pandemic was coming. Also, I would have took statistics way earlier than taking it in the spring before I had to leave. I definitely would have taken it earlier. But also I feel like I wouldn't have changed nothing, just because I feel like being in quarantine, being with my family 24/7 definitely helped our relationships grow, and it definitely showed who I am as a person. So it's kind of like two sides of a coin. I wouldn't change nothing, but I also would have moved out earlier. So it's just that.
For me, I definitely would have bought a new laptop. I would one of the bigger things though that I would probably done was same with Kyla. I would have gotten all my math requirements done while in like in-person classes, because like I said before, it's really hard for me to do math online. So I would have also probably switched around my room, bought a desk, because when you're on Zoom classes, you're laying in bed, like it's hard to pay attention. And then after your class, like you'll find yourself just laying in bed being like, okay, I'll watch TV for 30 minutes. And 30 minutes gets to like 2 hours. Then you're like, dang, the whole day's gone. Then you gotta struggle during the night. You don't get enough sleep in the night, and then it just becomes a cycle. And everyone knows it's hard to break a cycle once it starts rolling. So I would have definitely done those things differently, if I knew that this pandemic was gonna happen.
Well, I'm going to jump in and pull and acknowledge the space that has just been created by our panelists and our the facilitators of this conversation. So Chanel and Michael, I just want to say to both of you, thank you for the work that you did in pulling this group of students together and asking such thoughtful and meaningful questions. I would also like to say to Ahmed, Kyla, Robin, and Aaron, I just want to thank you all for your authentic, courageous, very real conversation and dialogue. We appreciate the vulnerability. We appreciate your story. We appreciate your voice. You have given us things to think about. You've provided food for our thoughts, food for our soul. And so we will walk away with a lot to consider and a lot to celebrate and a lot to think about, from the practical to the philosophical to the, just want to explore some of these things more. Your perspective, your voice matters. You make us better. You help us be more intentional, and you help us to create the conditions that matter for students like you, for those who will come after you, to be successful here at Mesa College. So we appreciate your voice. We thank you for sitting on this panel. We thank you for coming back. We thank you for looking forward. We just thank you. So again, to the Black Faculty Counseling Collaborative, thank you for bringing this space and creating this space for all of us to engage. And in particular to our student panelists, thank you so much. So with that said, I believe we are done for today's forum. But while this conversation will end, we encourage you all to keep this dialogue going. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.